Hi, Egg here. A couple of new members have been on Talk Graphics asking how to use Visual Lightbox and Video Lightbox in Xara 11, and there seems to be some confusion. I don't think it should be that difficult. So the first thing to do is let's have just a quick look at Video Lightbox. And it's just basically a very sweet little program for adding videos to files to create pages for, and I quite like it. It's quite good. Anyway, it's free to download, so you can download it there for Windows, and then once you've downloaded it, just let me knock a few things back, knock that back, knock that back, knock that back, knock that back. Right. We've then downloaded it and installed it, and this is what the program looks like. I've already started. I don't want to run through the whole process of running through how to add files, etc. But this is the little almost an app that you get. It's just got these 4 tabs, and you can add videos, so you can add them from video files on your own computer, YouTube, Google Video, Metacafe, MySpace, Vimeo, Facebook, Yahoo Music, and Vio, whatever that is. Never heard that one. So it's quite simple. If you just go to, let me just bear with me a second. If you just go to YouTube, go to my channel, go to your own videos, you can then just say, do this slicing map ones, select it. I'm just going to copy that URL. Okay, I've copied that URL. Sorry about the didn't realise that was going to come in. So I can then paste in the add a video URL. Control V to paste that in there and add video, and it gets put on there. Then having got as many videos as you want, you can put this customize thumbnails, and you have various options on which types of thumbnail you can use. I'll just use that simple HTML frame. It's quite clean, and you can actually, I'm using a customized size here because we're going to be using this in iframe. You have to be a bit careful how you do it, and I found out that if you're going to say put it an iframe in a 960 pixel wide web page, then this 200 by 148 custom size for your thumbnails works quite well. You can either use PNG or JPEGs for your thumbnail formats. If they're PNG, you don't need to worry about the thumbnail quality. The page color, you can do whatever you want. I'm just going to use it as the default. I've set the number of columns to 4. I think that's fairly important. If you keep putting more and more, what that actually does is that Video Lightbox seems to be responsive. So if you add it to automatic, auto or whatever it is, auto, as you widen or lower the browser window, it will move the thumbnails around. But if you're going to put that in an iframe, you don't want to do that. So I'll put them as 4, and therefore they're 4 and they're 200 a piece. That's 800 if you're going to put them in a 960, because there's borders and everything else. That works fine. The thumbnail titles I know nothing about, and this play button, you select what you want. Okay, so you've got to that far, then you go to customize video, and you can have video resolutions at various sizes. I don't find they're very good, but I found if you're going to put it in a 960, an iframe to fit in a 960 web page, then this 910 by 710 worked quite well. And this overlay shadow, put it any colour up you want. But basically what the overlay shadow does is darkens up and stops you clicking on the thumbnails below it, and that's very important, because I found if you don't use that, and you can still view the thumbnails below it, you can click on another thumbnail while one is playing, while one video is playing. It closes it, but it just doesn't open the next video. It just keeps waiting for it to load, but it never loads. So I recommend that you use the overlay shadow, watermarks and all the rest of it, and these close after playing. Close after playing is obvious, and before quick start's fairly obvious, and that's what you've got. So the final step is to go to publish, and this seems to be causing the most confusion, because everyone that's trying to use it is publishing it to their local computer. Having done that, trying to upload it into their own server, and going into all sorts of HTML that they don't need to go. So you've got these three options. You've got publish to folder, which is publish to your own hard drive, publish to a file transfer protocol server, which is your own server, and insert to a page. And I've even tried to insert to a page, but the one I prefer to use, and it's probably the far easiest, is this publish to FTP server. You then need to obviously go into the server settings. I'm not going to actually go into that, but it's basically ftp.parkston.com. Then I enter my username and password, and then I have to put the FTP folder, and the subdirectory. And my subdirectory is always public HTML, and then / and whatever folder you want to put them into. And that is probably the hardest part of actually using the FTP server. But once you've got it correct, there's no problem whatsoever. It's as simple as that. And if you get errors, it's because you're not putting the correct path to that folder. So all you then do is click, and the index file name is just going to be index.html. It doesn't matter, because it's going into this Visual Lightbox -2 folder, and it's called index.html. So I publish that, and that's fine. That's published. So that's the Video Lightbox bit closed. So I'll switch that down. Okay, so the Video Lightbox has been published. So let's see what we've got. This is one I did slightly earlier, and it's only got 4, and I actually added a 5th one. So if I go Control F5 to do that, you can now see it's got the 5th one I added, and you can see that it's normally, if it was just left responsive, as there's enough room on this side of the browser, that would go over here. But I don't want that responsive. I just want to keep it down so it will fit in my 960 web page. And if I click on that, I'll shut that down again because of the thing. You can see that works fairly well. let me click on this one because it's hasn't got a lot of volume going on it. You can see it comes in the middle of the box, so it's not too bad at all. And it works quite well. And if I say reduce that browser size down and click there, it fits even better into that window. I'll shut it down again. So I say, if you're going to put in an iframe, you want to try and avoid that responsive part of the site. So that's why I've kept the thumbnails down to, what was it, 200 pixels wide, I think, and in 4 columns. So you won't get any more than 4 columns in a row. And that's when the 5th one comes in, it'll come in down here. And the other thing is that I found with it is when you click on that, if you don't have that background over here, you can actually click on another video. It shuts this video down, but having shut this video down, it then starts to reload but never loads. So you definitely need those background thumbnails covered over so you can't click on them. Right, let's close that down. And the final part is how do we integrate that into Web Designer, Xara, whatever your program you're using. So let's open up, just close that down a bit, up bottom, put that there. Right, I'm in Xara Designer Pro X11 now, and this is a 960 web page, and it's got nothing else in it but this purple rectangle which I use for my placeholders. So what's in the placeholder? Right, all that you put in the placeholder is quite a simple iframe name, and it just says iframe name VLB iframe. I don't know even if that bit is necessary. Probably is, but it doesn't seem to matter what name you put in there. And then the source, which is the file that you've just uploaded using Video Lightbox, and it was http://parkston.com VLB-2 index HTML, and the width was 910, the height was 720, scrolling equals no, frame border equals no, margin equals no, margin width equals no, and then the closing iframe tag. And you can click that iframe tag just on your desktop all the time, and all you need to do is change the source code, that bit of the source code, and the width and height things, and you can use that over and over again to paste in wherever you want. So how does that look? Well, I'll just go apply, well, it's already applied, and I'll go preview that screen. And I'll hit Control F5 because I've updated that file, and you can see you've got these 5 in here. They're fitting nicely within the frame of your Xara file, and this darker grey bit inside, internal bit, is the actual iframe. If you click on here, it comes over and nicely fills the screen. Hit play and go around and close that down. You can click on this one, play.
Okay, yeah, like all things Xara, there's more than one.
Close that down, and at the same time, if I click on that one again, the important thing is, because you've used that hiding underneath the thing, you can't click on these other video links. So I think that works quite well. But instead of importing individual videos, and I would say I wouldn't do any more than 16 of them personally on each page, you can also do pull them in from, you just think what it is. No, I've shut the window now. But I'll give you the link on when I post this video. Basically, rather than importing individual videos, you can import video lists, which from YouTube. I can't remember what they actually called them now, but you can do it that way as well. It's quite good. Anyway, I hope that clarified the matter. It saves you messing around, loading and saving files to your own computer, then trying to install them in Xara that way. All you've got to do is use the FTP to upload them to your own server, and then use an iframe to load them straight into Xara. And then when you publish a Xara file, that will load these into an iframe, and I find that it's far simpler than trying to mess around with different HTML editors and everything else. Let's face it, we want to try and get away from HTML editors. That's why we're using Xara. Anyway, hope this helped. This is Egg, all the best. Goodbye, and happy Christmas as well, I suppose.